me in a situation like that though, because I know where it could go, and then the support system I got, you know what I mean? So like I'm like nah, you know what I'm saying? Cause all right, I ain't gonna say it's now. You got the weirdo, you know what I'm saying? You got the delusion. How you say it? Delusion of grandeur.
Delusions of grandeur.
You got Mr. Delusions of grandeur. He keeps saying Munchie's a buster. He don't want to sit down with me. He can't face me. He won't say it.
The internet then gave these away. Then gave a hater a way to have a voice. See, back in the days before YouTube, before the internet, these didn't have nothing. They just had to hate from the park. They had to hate from the backseat of their homie car. Now, make a free YouTube account and get on this motherfucker and say some shit. You feel me? Now it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So this is the era where it's kind of hard to ignore certain things when you're trying to elevate and move past certain barriers in this shit. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? You feel me? And it's a dude named Munchie B. He's one of them type. His whole shit was built on hating on Nipsey, hating on Draco. Everybody that was doing something his bitch ass wanted to do, he hated on him. He don't hate on that don't make him feel insecure. He don't hate on that he's not jealous of. And even if he is jealous of a nigga, if the nigga will put him on a pedestal, he'll accept the nigga's flaws and the last smut. See, Munchie, I know you very well, bro. I understand you, bro. He gets on the internet, you know, he says all these things about me. You know what I'm saying? You know, he disrespects me. He says the most disrespectful things. I'm sure y'all see the things that he say. You know, so, you know, the whole point of this internet shit is to let the fans know we real niggas. To let the fans know that we are not on the internet just blowing smoke up their ass. Nah, we not doing that. Everything we say as gangsters and content creators, we stand on it. I sent her over $10,000, you know, for the kids. She make a post, get on there and say, that's what tricks do. So, you know, you treated me like a trick when I sent you money for my kids. For real. Like I said, man, she just very verbally abusive, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to deal with it anymore, bro. You know, I contacted the police, man. I called the police, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Yes, I called the police on her, bro. You feel me? And I gave them her phone number, the number that I have. I gave them her last address, you know. I told them, showed them all the posters, sent them the links. Like I said, when she fucked with Crip Mac, I took that to the jaw, left her alone. Now that ain't work, she's blaming me and everybody else. She can't even take accountability for nothing she does. She can't even take accountability for her daughter. She's trying to find some kind of small hole to make me accountable for that. Like, I just don't get it, bro. So, you know, yes, I did. I called the police on my baby mama. And I sent them her Instagram. I sent them her number. I sent her everything. They got everything. They got the old Crip Mac posters. They got everything she said about me. They got Crip Mac when he was threatening me for her. They have everything. I'm not gonna lie. They have it all. You know. So, you know, I called the police because she's threatening me with the police, saying she's making police reports on me, making everybody think I'm running for some charges that I'm not. And she keeps talking about me, lying about me on the internet, you know, when I'm trying to be nice about it. You know, when on my No Jumper interview, I didn't even bash her. Like, I don't, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just did what I had to do, you feel me? That, yes, I told on my baby mama. And it felt good. It felt like the right thing to do. We're not just blowing smoke up the public's ass. Right, Munchie? So I felt like it's only right that he give his fans and his supporters a chance for them to see the person that they admire, Munchie B, say exactly how he feel in Snoopy BadAzz face. And I want to see, and let them see how that turns out for them. I think it's only fair. If a nigga's sitting on the internet saying this nigga's a bitch, this nigga's a buster, this nigga's a mark, this nigga's a hoe, then the nigga say, well, okay, let's sit down and talk. And you decline, you's a bitch. I don't want you. Move on with your life. Snoopy Bad. Called the police. And I called the police right now to make my own report on my baby mama because she's lying and saying that police is looking for me. Police is that I tried to pimp on her daughter. So I called the police and made my own report. And there is no warrant for me. There is no warrant for me. So I'm going to ask you to please stay off the internet creating false narratives and lying. Show your fans, my nigga, that Snoopy BadAzz is a buster, my nigga. Show your fans, my nigga, that you would look me in my eyes and call me a snitch and a bitch and all that disrespectful shit that you said on the internet about my dead little brother, nigga. We want to see you do that in my face, my nigga, because I for damn sure, I probably want to see it more than any goddamn body. You can bring two niggas from Inglewood family that's willing to get shot for your ass if you try something. Go ahead, I ain't tripping. I'm going to bring two niggas too. And if it crack off, I'm gonna make sure I be the one get your ass.
Man, why would I sit down with you about anything and talk about anything?
Yeah, absolutely
that's
not.
counterproductive.
Yeah, I wouldn't even recommend to do that. For what?
It's counterproductive. If it was like when Deuce M's and Young Ant was going back and forth, and I was pushing for them to, man, they need to holler, which they did. That's something different because they two solid people. Why would I sit down with a snitch that told in open court and used his pointing finger and stated his name for the record and got somebody all that time in prison?
And you wasn't doing it to help. Let's just clear that. There was no. That's his narrative because he cannot deny that he did it. So now he explains it away by saying he did it to help the defendant when that was never even in motion.
Some guy came from the back of his truck. Feel me? Some guy came from the back of his truck, man, and I turned and started firing. You know what I'm saying? One guy went down, the other guy screamed like a chicken ran. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up fleeing the scene, you know, and that was that. You know, about a week later, you know, fast forward, you know, I get caught, you know what I'm saying, I fall for it. I end up in the county jail. You know, I end up in downtown Riverside County jail. You know, I was booked.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So, you know, as I got booked and I got housed, you know, a whole bunch of guys was already in the county, man. They had already knew about it. They already got the scheme on what was going on. You know, cats like, you know, Big Spider from 9-7 East Coast. You know, Hot Dog from 11-8 East Coast. Babyface from 11-8 East Coast. Big Dirt from 8-9 East Coast. A lot of cats already knew about what was going on, so they basically formed a circle of support around me, you know what I'm saying, because nobody was really knowing, you know, who was who and what was what. So, you know, a lot of G dudes, man, formed a circle of support around me. They put me in the dungeon, and E5 back then, they used to do the thing, Crip module. 4 times went by, they ended up transferring me back downtown to Riverside, because I'm getting ready to start my trial now. So, they don't put me in the tower downtown, man, on the 4th floor, you know. So I'm back there, you know, at the time myself was the little rat tone from Fun Hill County Crip. And so, you know, one day, man, we sit in the cell chilling, we talking, man, and a kite come up under my door. You know what I'm saying? It's from the 3rd floor. You know, me and my celly was in the cells, you know, just chopping it up, talking, you know, about some things. And, you know, this celly at this time was, you know, rat tone from Fun Hill County. And, you know, I get a kite up under the door. It's from like a few young homies that's downstairs on the 3rd floor. I was on the 4th floor at this time. It was from Baby Wack from Park Village, you know, Gangsta Jake from Fire Trey Avalon, and Sad Face from Fire Trey Avalon. And I'm reading the kite, man, and you know, Wack, you know, he like, yeah, man, I'm in the cell with this dude, man, named Sly Blue, this and that, and this, and you know, he's like real shifty and acting strange, and you know, and like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I guess Wack had got the card and from the DA because he was in the cell with this Melvin Banks guy. He got the card, he got this dude's booking number, and you know, when they went to rec, when they went, you know, to go program and recreation, Wack stayed back and go, you know, call a number on the card. You know what I'm saying? And so when he calls the number on the court, it's the district attorney who's prosecuting my case. You know what I'm saying? This guy's name was District Attorney John McKee. And yeah, so Wack, man, he calls the number, you know what I'm saying, and the district attorney think that Wack is Melvin Banks. He's like, yeah, Mr. Banks, I'm glad you called me, man, and we knew about your 664, and this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to set up something to where we can have that case dropped, charges on that case dropped in exchange for your testimony against Damien Doster.
I was locked up on my own attempted murder at the time. I ended up catching my own attempted murder or whatever, right? I'm not following that case. I'm not nothing going to court, nothing behind that case, right? So on one of my court dates going to handle my business for my attempted murder that I'm fighting with my co-defendant, they say my name in the holding tank.
Along with you being released, right? So Wack like, yeah, okay, for sure, good looking. You see what I'm saying? He says, man, look, keep in contact with me, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? They hang up. So the whole time, they talking to Wack, thinking he's talking to Melvin Banks. You know what I'm saying? Close to 3 weeks past, I'm getting ready to start my jury selections. You know what I'm saying? It's early in the morning, man. It's like about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. They popped me out like, man, you got court. And another homie that was in the pod with me was Big Gus, Reform Dog, and we all go out. So when we going out the pod to go to the court tank, to the court line, with me, Gus, Munchie Wayne from Looney's Park, Lil Red Fox from Backstreet, Concrete from Pomona Mafia, TK from Pomona Mafia, KO from Pueblos. We all going up in the court tank. It's a gang of other cats up in there, blacks, Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? We all up in there, so we all greeting each other like, trying to get the feel of who's who. So we, I see this little dude in the back of the tank, looking all feminine and shit. I go back there, hit some guys up, I see him. I'm like, hey man, where you from? What they call you? He tells me, I'm Sly Blue, you know what I'm saying, from Woo Wah Woo, neighborhood Crip. I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, this the guy right here. You know what I'm saying? He was sitting there in the tank. So I'm like, okay. I say, hey man, you know who I am? He's like, nah, man, I don't know who you is. I'm like, man, I'm TC, man, I'm from Avalon, bro. At this time, man, I was young, active, and I was on my bullshit, my Avalon Crip tip. I'm like, I'm from Avalon, bro. I'm TC, I'm the one did that. So I'm thinking when I say this, he's gonna go on a crash course collision. Nothing happened.
TC, bro. Dead homies, nigga, and I was wrong, for trying to help his bitch ass. Because guess what? He was all cool in the hoodie tank. Like, yeah, man, I need you to help me, man. And I tried to help him.
And this dude you ran into?
Yeah.
You ran into him where?
In the county jail, shackled up in the hoodie tank, yeah.
Y'all got down?
There was nothing to get down for. He came at me with a Bible. He was like, man, he's like, look, bro, I need, like...
Dog, listen
I know,
to me. What is you saying right now?
When I see the nigga in the holding tank or whatever, he was a Christian, bro. He wasn't even gang bangy and all that. The nigga was on some Christian shit. Nigga was gripping the Bible and some old shit, my nigga, like praying and shit. Like, I feel bad what I did, I'm guilty and all that shit, right?
I had to look. This last time when I went down there, I had to write a grievance to get my legal work. Because you cannot bring absolutely nothing from housing to the courtroom. Nothing. Even though I got a court order from Judge Malloy to be able to bring my legal work back and forth to court. I still had to write up the sheriff's department because they still wouldn't let me have that stuff. I had to write their ass up just to get it. So I know for a fact, a Bible, you're not bringing a Bible from housing to court. It's just not gonna happen.
He killed he killed Worm on accident because Worm knew his cousin that we had just seen get shot. I see the dude, and he basically like, man, look, man, I'm trying to get off on heat of passion. You feel me? I'm trying to, and I'm trying to get your attempted off of me. I said, man, I got you. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I will say this though. Like I said, you made a mistake, homie. Like, I wish I would have never went up there to help that because I didn't know. You got to understand, when the shots went off, I was gone, my nigga. I ran to the nigga mama house. So when I got to the nigga mama house, I'm like, man, I think, well, she said, man, drug me back up there. They said, what happened? I said, somebody jumped out the bush and started shooting. That's all I said.
You said that to who?
To the police.
Nah, let me ask you something.
I did say that. Yep. I said that.
Homie, look at me when I ask you.
I'm not gonna
So
lie.
when the did you go back to the murder crime, bro? What is
Scene of the crime, you mean?
No, it's a body.
Oh, right.
Because the the nigga mama, bro. Like,
His mama.
yeah, I should have said fuck her, huh?
That's a fact.
I know, bro, but you know, I made a mistake.
She going up there anyway.
I'm not even about to sit here and try to justify it, bro. Like, I did that.
You get to telling me how, I'm too solid to tell, and I'm not gonna say anything, and da-da-da-da-da. And so we all looking at each other like, is this guy for real? And so I turned back to the dude, and I'm doing my stuff. Slap the dog shit out the guy.
And you didn't get off on him?
How? Shit, how the fuck? It wasn't, and he didn't even come at a nigga like that. Feel me? It ain't like we was in there, I'm just shackled
So
to me,
since when do the op dictate?
Bro, he came at me as a Christian. I didn't even know who the fuck the nigga was when I seen him.
He's screaming and hollering for the deputy. So they come up in there, man, and pin him up out the damn tank. You know what I'm saying? They take him and put him in a keep-away tank. You know what I'm saying? About 30, 40 minutes later, I goes up to the courthouse to start my jury selections. The bailiffs tackle me. They tackle me down to the ground. The DA up here, you know, John and Keith said, no, Your Honor, this guy just assaulted my star witness and da-da-da-da-da, and they need to be kept away, and I need to put Melvin Banks in protective custody. So Melvin goes PC right then.
I am a real stuffed down Los Angeles County, Compton, Bompton, Paru gang banger. We ain't never requesting PC. We gonna run in there, we gonna go in there and run our phase. And it's gonna come like that. In the county, you turn down a fade in one dorm, you getting rolled up to the next dorm. You're gonna get rolled up to the next dorm until you have to PC up. But from my understanding, I'm not ever requesting PC.
So when the trial starts, and so when the DA is presenting his case, he calls in his first witness for the people, Melvin Banks.
Please be seated. Please state and spell your full name for the record. Melvin Banks. Melvin Banks. Thank you. And Mr. Banks, you have an attorney and you've talked to him a little earlier. If you need to talk to him, let me know. No problem. DA, you can ask questions. Thank you, Your Honor. Melvin Banks called as a witness by and on behalf of the people, having been first duly sworn, was examined and testified as follows. Good morning, Mr. Banks. How you doing, sir? I'm doing all right. Mr. Banks, I noticed that you're in an orange jumpsuit and you have apparently been arrested. In fact, you were arrested for and charged with the crime of attempted murder on June 18th, 2006? Yes, sir.
When I ended up catching my own attempted murder and I seen this nigga inside the holding tank, I didn't even know who the fuck the nigga was. He knew who I was because they said my name. So when they said my name, I'm like, yeah, that's me. What's happening? He was like, look, bro, that shit was an accident. You know, I'm not going to motherfucking trial saying I didn't do it. I did that shit, bro. He said, but they trying to say that I tried to kill you. I need you to say that you didn't try to kill me, that I didn't try to kill you, and say I looked scared when I did it.
And that case is still pending? Yes. And that case is for attempted killing? Yes. That case occurred just prior to a year after this event that we're going to talk about? Yes, sir. And did you have a friend by the name of Damien Mabens? Yeah.
So Melvin Banks come up in there with this, you know, this fake macho shit, you know, but everybody already know he's soft as cotton. He gets up there, you know, he raised his hand and swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And, you know, the DA goes into his questioning, you know, and he gets up here, man, and he just spill all the beans. He testified on me, testified against me.
I turned around, worm hit, he on the ground. I break.
Yeah.
I never seen who shoot. I never see nothing.
I guess supposedly this guy said that they was driving by or something like that, and, you know, he said that they was driving by and they stopped, and, you know, and supposedly they knew Sharif, but he ended up telling the DA that supposedly they was there helping Sharif, and I wasn't there, and I supposed to came from some bushes and just started shooting.
Run back up there. When he run back up there, they find out Worm didn't. The police, everybody there. You know the family. You gotta go tell them something. You gotta go tell them something. I went up there and told him a bullshit story. If you look at the paperwork in the beginning, that first story was bullshit. I lied all in it. I said the nigga jumped out the bushes. If you see the crime scene, you will see that there is no bushes for him to jump out of. So that tells you that I was just making up shit as I go in the beginning of the paperwork. Yeah, checkmate, bitch. When I told them somebody jumped out the bushes, I told them, man, somebody jumped out the bushes, started shooting, I ran. I couldn't tell him what the fuck the nigga looked like. I couldn't tell him. But
there was some truth that he jumped out the bushes.
No, he didn't jump out no bushes.
He said he jumped out the bushes.
No, come to find out. He's saying he came out the car. He jumped out the car.
Were you able to see fully from the rear of the car to the door as it opened like that? Like over when he was looking, I got out the car, like shortly afterwards. But what I'm talking about, you walked around which side of the car in order to see the body? The hood, I walked around. The front? Yeah. You walked around the front of the car? Yeah. No. You mean the front of Damon's car? The front of Damon's car. You walked around the front of Damon's car, meaning on this photograph, people's, I believe it is 5, you walked around the front and then to the rear of this white SUV on the back side of the SUV? Yes, sir. And then did you get all the way to the side, the driver's side, to be able to see what we're looking at right now? I wasn't on the driver's side or nothing, but I was right on the side of Damon. Would you have been able to see anybody standing inside that door when you came around the back of the SUV, and when you turned and looked at the body, would you have been able to see? Yeah, I would have, but I didn't see. No. I have to put this photograph up again. It's People's 16. So you see how this door is open. The body is there. Where would Damon had been standing at that point in time? Like, right, can you see my finger? I can't, but maybe I'll come over and you can explain. What the witness has indicated is just to the rear of the driver's side rear tire at about right where the pencil is located. How long were you guys there observing the body before something else happened? A couple seconds. You came around, you saw Sharif laying there, and Damon was standing just to the front and to the left of you. Is that fair to say, as you're looking at Sharif? Yes, sir. What do you remember happening next? Someone came out of nowhere and shot Damon. Do you see the person who shot Damon that night here in court today? I really can't remember. I went into shock. Mr. Banks, you said that you're here and you have to tell the truth, right? I am telling the truth. You're incarcerated, right? You're in jail? Yes, sir. And you understand that a person who, or do you understand that a person who comes to court to testify against another person, what is that person usually known as? You can say it right here in court. Snitch.
If I would have felt I was doing some snitch shit, it would have never happened. I thought, okay, I'm locked up on my own attempted murder, keeping it solid with my co-defendant. Oh, this nigga want me to help him tell them that he didn't kill me, and he looked scared when he killed the homie because he's trying to get his heat of passion. I thought at the time I was doing the right thing.
So this dude,
if I felt like I was ratting, I would have never did it, bro.
Right. Now we understand that. That's how it works. But in court today, you're saying that's your best friend, one of your best friends here. People's one, and he was killed, right? Yes, sir. Killed before your eyes. Is that right? Yes, sir. And you saw the person who didn't. Isn't that true? Yes, sir. I'll ask you again. Do you see the person who killed your friend?
So you went in there and identified him.
What?
You went in there and said he...
No, I went up there and corroborated his story.
I'll ask you again. Do you see the person who killed your friend? Yeah, he's sitting over there. And you indicated with your head the far end of counsel table, my left. Is he wearing the blue shirt and gold-rimmed glasses? Yes, sir. Identifying for the record the defendant, Your Honor? Yes. I know this is hard, Mr. Banks. How many times did you see him shoot Damon? I really can't. More than twice. Where did you see this individual come from just prior to the shooting? Out of nowhere. When you say out of nowhere, can you give us a direction? And let me point you back. People's 33. You see that? This is a daylight photograph of the scene that we were just looking at. Can you tell us where in this photograph you may have seen Mr. Doster coming from before shooting Damon? He came from that way. I don't know if he came from out the car or from the grass area, but it was from that direction.
And that's what he was, basically testifying to. He also said that he ran and there was dry shots.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Like I was shooting at him, but it was dry shots. Like the gun was going click, click, click. You know what I'm saying? He was running. He ran.
That's where you first saw Damien Doster? And I'll put your initials MB for Melvin Banks. You said you thought he shot about how many times? More than 2. Like, I can't tell you how many times he shot, but more than 2? Yeah. What did you do? What were you doing when this was happening? What could you do? Sit there and stunned, like, I can't believe this is happening. What do you remember happening next? I ran.
Hey, the best way you can help is not show up in court. Best way you can help. You know what I mean? You always look. He always trying to pull up some snitch paperwork on me. They brought me to court from prison, wasting their gas money. I was in the clean prison. They brought me back down to this dirty ass county jail so I could cooperate on somebody and see if it went that way. It was, what 2011? They brought me back down from Wasco to CCB court. Look it up. You always trying to look everything. He got the apps because he found the gun case recently, prior like 3 years ago with me or something.
Yeah,
that he never concluded and told us about what happened with it. What happened? But yeah, man. I mean, I ain't never told on nobody.
Yeah, and I would never sit down with someone who's got a pattern of pathological lying. That's why I always hang up on Wack 100. I'm not going to get nothing out of a conversation with someone that all they do is lie. Like 80% of what comes out your mouth is misinformation. Why even sit down with the person? It's a waste of time.
But what is it about you that will make a person want to sit down with you and have a conversation with you? There's no good content to be done with you. You're a horrible person morally when it comes to you in a relationship with your family because you got 3 daughters. You're not even in their life. You told. I don't condone in that. You've been from 5 different hoods. I don't condone in that. There's no reason for me and this man to have a conversation.
None.
I'm not a fan of your music. So, I mean, hey, what's there to talk about?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. It's pointless.
Nothing at all. You got better action than me and 4 extras sitting down having a conversation. You know why? Because it'll look good to the kids. And he's not a buster. I've caught some lies he told, but he's not a buster. I don't know of him ever telling on anybody or him being from 50 hoods. So you have more action and I'm not interested in that, but you have more action than me and 4 extras sitting down talking than me and Delusions of Grandeur.
Hey, I was reading a court case where 4 extras got aired out by one of his own homies. They rush him to the hospital. Police pull up, go to the hospital. 4 extras. Who shot you? He knows who shot him because it was his own homie. But who does he tell the police when he's laying in the hospital bed?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know who shot me.
Right.
He's looking right at the face of the guy who shot him. So we already kind of know where 4 extras is when it comes to this street code.
Right.
Yeah.
It make more sense. You know what I'm saying? But I would never, man. I would never.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the other dude, when he was asked who shot your friend in open court, he said it was him. That guy.
Right.
over there.
He pointed and he
Yeah.
described the clothing he had on, and he stated his name for the record. Can you spell your name for Melvin?
Well, you got to do that regardless.
Banks Banks, but he's stating it for the record.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's for the wrong reasons, bro. It's for the wrong reasons. Like you don't do that as a quote unquote street person. No, the streets is not a myth. Y'all just some mythical characters that's trying to protect to be street people.
This crazy guy, Delusions of Grandeur, was on the platform with Wack one day talking about how I went to prison before.
Why ain't nobody asking about Alex Alonso, bro? He's the biggest mystery on the internet trying to expose somebody. And Alex Alonso, he done went and got all his records sealed. So you can't find nothing on him. Ask yourselves, pay attention to who these dudes is. Like Alex, why you go to the pen? What happened in that case? These are the questions that we gotta have ask Alex Alonso.
And boys and girls, I have never stepped foot on a prison yard as an inmate in my life. In my life.
They say, Munchie B ain't never been to the pen.
And they say, you never been to the pen.
And I've been there. Then they say, Alex Alonso was in the penitentiary. What about that?
Yeah.
So I can talk about that. And he's never been to the penitentiary.
Listen, homie, I've been from my set longer than you've been living. You can't tell me nothing about no streets. You ain't never walked no penitentiaries. You can't tell me about the county jail. You can't tell me about the gangbang. Munchie, listen, respectfully, homie, like, it's more to come if you keep on, and I don't want to do it because you are one of God's children. You owe me. I did what a homie was supposed to do. I looked out for you. Like, homie, y'all up there talking about who did. Spot ain't never been to the pen. You ain't never been to the pen.
It just shows you how far they're willing to go with their misinformation. You've been to prison, and they're saying you ain't never been there.
Right.
Which is supposed to be, I guess, a diss to you.
Right.
So a guy so gangster never been to a yard.
I repeat, what make you hard about going to prison?
Yeah,
you didn't run fast enough. You didn't jump high enough. You didn't get away.
Yeah.
What make you hard? Because you got caught. I'm still lost.
Well, there is this. I guess there is a bit of if you could survive a California prison, that means you've passed the test to a certain degree.
Well. I always heard if you can survive the LA County jail, you can survive anywhere.
That's true.
The LA County jail is a different demon.
The LA County jail is a whole nother level than probably all the prison yards in California.
Right. That LA County jail is very dangerous, and it's you know what I mean. And then it's more structured once you get to the penitentiary, more organized, and you at least likely to.
And what's ironic, I don't think Wack 100's ever been to the LA County jail because he went from YA straight to the penitentiary. I think you don't. I think you skipped the step.
Right.
I don't think there's ever even a requirement to go to county jail. If you're a YA baby and you turn 18 and you still got time to do, they send you straight to reception.
Man, I just want to put out there, you're not tough because you go to prison. And if you so tough, let's talk about the shit you did in prison. It's called a C-file. Show your C-file. How many stickings you got? Like that. I'm saying. And I ain't talking about the dude just getting caught with phones. That ain't nothing dangerous or gangster about that. How many? Did you lay the yard down? Yard down. Did they have to discharge that mini 14 because you did your shit? Like going to jail don't make you tough, bro.